Hey guys, it's Kay. How are you doing? We've got sort of funny golden hour lighting right here, but it's fine. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the behind the scenes of YouTube, since you guys seem interested in this topic. It's not something I normally make on a regular basis, but it's Vlogmas, so I can do whatever. Those are the Vlogmas rules. So let's talk about YouTube behind the scenes. So I reached out to you guys on the community tab yesterday and on Instagram about what questions do you have about being on YouTube and about actual content creation. So my story is I am a creative entrepreneur. So I'm a creative person, but I also am a business person, and YouTube seemed like a naturally great fit. Since the age of 5, 6, 7, young age, I used to record myself into the Fisher-Price machine. If you stick around to the end of the video, you might hear a little bit of that stuff. But I have always been performing, pretending, being in front of an imaginary audience, and YouTube seemed like a really natural fit when I needed to find something to do. I recorded my first YouTube video many years ago, and those videos are now private on my other channel that is now my gaming channel. I haven't uploaded to it in a while, but I made some beauty related content a really long time ago. A lot of those videos are privated. You can't see them, and they're really bad, but that was my first foray into YouTube. And then I decided to make a piece of content that was specifically made for my organizing clients when I was doing organizing for the Container Store, and that video got very popular really quickly, and I decided to monetize it when it got to 30,000 views. And then I decided to do more videos because I had a lot of fun, and it's turned into what you see today. So that's sort of my journey with YouTube. Very haphazard, but super fun. I don't regret a moment of it. So let's get into the deep dive of some of your questions. So I got a lot of questions about the equipment I use and what equipment is necessary. So the only equipment that is necessary for YouTube, I got a question of like, how much gear do you really need? And you really only need a decent camera, which can be your iPhone, because iPhone shoots amazing video. I use my iPhone on the regular when I'm out to shoot B-roll, and it does have an amazing slow-mo setting too. You need decent lighting, you need decent audio, and you need a halfway decent editing program. There's a bunch of free editing programs you can edit on your phone. I personally find that to be a little difficult, so I always use my laptop to edit. You don't need fancy lighting setup. You don't need fancy DSLR cameras. You don't need fancy mics. You just need some like run-of-the-mill stuff to get started. You can make amazing content just from your phone, so that's really all you need. I say phone and editing software. So when my channel started to make a little more money, I decided to put some of that money back into my channel, back into tech gear. So right now I use 2 cameras, well, sort of 3 if you count my iPhone. Clover, do you want to come up here? Come on, come on. Hi. Hi. How are you? I have several different cameras. I started out shooting on a Samsung camera that I don't remember the name of, but I can flash it on the screen for you. It was really like your basic like point and shoot, but also filmed video camera. It only shot at like 1 frame rate. And it was 30, so I didn't really want to continue shooting with that, so I purchased a vlogging camera, which was the Sony RX100 Mark V, and I just traded that up for the Mark 7, which is exceptional because you can hook an external microphone onto it, which I will talk about a little later. And I also have a DSLR. I have a Canon SL2. I purchased the DSLR specifically for taking photos and for getting really great audio, but now that I have the Sony RX100 Mark 7, I can get just as good audio with this camera and a beautiful Sony picture because it has less saturation. I think the Canon camera has more saturation and it doesn't look as good to me as the Sony picture does, but that is neither here nor there. But you don't need this stuff, but I did upgrade to this stuff when my channel started making money, so I put money back into my channel and upgrading stuff. I have one microphone, which is the Rode Video Micro. It's like their run-of-the-mill, cheapest, smallest directional mic, and it works great. It sounds great, as you can hear. And I do have a set of studio lights, softbox lights, and I have one ring light, which I hardly ever use. It's for like close-up face things that I don't really do at night. But I do use it as a tripod sometimes, which is really helpful. But that's basically my gear. I also have a lot of computer stuff. I have a MacBook Pro, which I just purchased, and I have like 15,000 external hard drives. I don't put any of my video footage directly onto my computer. I put it on external hard drives and edit from there. And yeah. So one question was, how long does it take to edit and shoot a video and to come up with ideas, and how do I come up with ideas? So I come up with ideas because I have an organizing channel. It's not as difficult to come up with ideas. So when it's organizing videos, you know, you just organize the space and you shoot it and then you put it up on YouTube. When it's the informational videos, that can be a little bit more time consuming. It takes a lot of research to do those videos, so those can take a few weeks to make, to be totally honest with you, because they are actually scripted. If they're not scripted, I will just talk rambly on and on. For the videos that are vlogs, those are really easy for me to make. Those are actually my favorite content to make, but they're not as successful as like the list videos. The list videos and the informational videos, like the microfiber video and like the how to keep your dogs clean or something, your house clean while you have a dog video, those are much more time consuming, but they actually take the least amount of time to shoot because it's just me talking, but they do take the largest prep. And when I'm out and about and I have an idea for a video, I'll just open up Evernote and make a separate note for it. Some of those notes actually don't have anything in them because I didn't fill them in, but a lot of the times I'll go back and I'll be like, okay, I had ideas for that video, and I'll just type it in. And Evernote, if you don't know, it's a note-taking app, note-taking software, and it allows you to organize notes and pictures and things like that. And I keep a bunch of files on different videos. So when I have an idea for a video, I put it in Evernote and then I'll go in and type the whole script, or sometimes I'll just leave it blank and wait for me to be inspired. I got a bunch of questions about my editing software. When I first started, I am a MacBook user, so I was using iMovie, which is free, comes with every Mac, I believe. And eventually, after my channel was making enough money, I upgraded to Final Cut Pro, which is the like pro version of iMovie. Basically, it allows you to do a lot more things. It's expensive; it's like $300, but it's a one-time purchase, and you can get a bunch of plugins for it, which I do love. I use plugins from a brand called Pixel Film Studios. I buy their plugins. They're fantastic. I use them to make like minor thirds. Musician talk. Lower thirds and transitions and things like that, like special effects if I'm feeling really creative. But basic stuff you can use with Final Cut Pro pretty easy. There's a little bit of a learning curve on Final Cut Pro. I'm still learning to do a bunch of things, but if I teach myself like one thing every time I edit, it gets easier and easier and easier. Like I just learned to like copy and paste special effects from one clip to another, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I took so long to learn that. But if you are a student of lifetime learning, I am, which is why I love to work with Skillshare, even though they're not sponsoring this video. You'll get better and better each time you edit. Editing is a skill, and it's something you're not going to be good at when you first start doing YouTube. The hardest thing for me to edit actually though is myself, because I talk a lot and I love to and you get a lot of comments if you talk a lot that say you talk a lot. So I've been trying to be more concise and to edit out a lot of unnecessary information that is in my videos, but it takes time, and it's sometimes it's just really hard to censor and edit yourself. It's very subjective. So I do rely on feedback from my audience. Even if it's like kind of rude, if they say that like you rambled on too much, I'm like, well, yeah, you got a point. I did ramble on too much, and I'll, next time I'll fix it. But yeah, editing is tricky and hard, but actually is one of the more fun parts of being a YouTuber. Sometimes I'm not looking forward to it, and I kind of put it off a little bit. I'm like, oh, I filmed 4 videos, but now I have to edit them. Bleh. But once I start getting into the editing software, it becomes much more enjoyable, and I'll just like sail on through. The process post-editing though is much more than a lot of people think. So YouTube has an interface for creators, which you can see the behind the scenes stuff, and that is your YouTube Studio. They just updated this to YouTube Studio, and it was YouTube Studio Beta. They just like they sort of abandoned the classic version of this, and it's much better. You can see a lot more of your analytics, which means your numbers, views, when people turned off the video, how many people watched it, what age they were, where they came from, how much money it made, all kinds of things. But once you upload to YouTube Studio, there's a bunch of stuff to be done after that. You have to make a custom thumbnail. Well, you don't have to, but you should. You have to make a custom thumbnail, and I usually use Canva to make thumbnails. Sometimes I make Photoshop, but more than not, I use Canva because it's easier for me. And then I'll have to fill in the description box, and sometimes that's easy and sometimes it's not. The way you fill in the description is very specific. You have to specify if there's affiliate links or if it's sponsored. And the little description is also a way for people to find your video. It uses that information it puts it in search. It's part of your metadata. So I'm very specific about the way I fill in the description. I want to give YouTube as much information as I can. So I have to fill out the description box. Then I have to put in tags. Tags are very important. Tags are a metadata that you tell YouTube what your video is about. So you can fill in the word, like if I make an organizing video, I'll tag it, how to organize your closet, tag. How to organize your closet in 2 hours, tag. How to organize a messy closet, tag. How do I organize the messiest closet ever, tag. And those are long form tags. Like I'll never rank for a tag that's just closet. I'll never rank for that tag. So there's a lot of speculation about like how tags work, but the general rule is that if you use a longer, more specific tag, more people will find your video than if you just use a one word tag. The only one phrase tag that I'm probably ranking for is my own channel name. Unless like Daryl Eves is like outranking me in that because I know he reviewed my channel, but yeah, so if you're using YouTube and making tags, don't use one form tags. Don't use short tags, use long form tags. Another question was, do you supplement your tools beyond YouTube's tools? And the answer is yes. So I got a lot of questions about the music I use and editing software, things like that. So editing software, I think I already talked about Final Cut Pro. Woo! The music I use comes from Epidemic Sound and Thematic. Thematic is Michelle Phan's product, if you don't know. She was the OG beauty YouTuber, and she has this business on the side called Thematic, and she provides copyright-free music for YouTubers. It's wonderful service. You do have to provide individual links in your description, which stops me from using Thematic more than I'd like. Because I find that step to be a little bit much. But I also use Epidemic Sound, which I pay for, and that is guaranteed copyright-free music, which you guys love because you asked me where I got my music from. It's Epidemic Sound. I think it's like $15 a month I pay because I use somebody's affiliate code. Epidemic Sound has a great, huge, massive library, and all you have to do is put one link in your description, and so that's easier for me to do than anything else. I used to use music from creators on SoundCloud and ask them if it was okay for me to use their tunes and things like that, but sometimes those tunes get claimed by like their record producer if they get a record contract, and I've had to like edit out music in older videos, so I don't do that anymore. I just do Epidemic Sound. I never have to worry about any copyright claims or anything like that, and I get to keep all the money. Epidemic is awesome if you're looking for free music. The YouTube audio library is also very good, but Epidemic is better, sorry. I also subscribe to a service, another plugin called TubeBuddy. It's a web plugin that allows you to do, it will make thumbnails, but they're not very good. You can do A/B testing for thumbnails, which I don't take advantage of very much. And you can compare and contrast your videos, like how your video is performing. The best thing it does though, is do keyword research for you or keyword ranking for you. So if I'm trying to figure out how to make my video more findable, I will type in a tag and it will tell me whether that's a good tag for me or if I can use a better tag to help people find my video. Because sometimes when you're trying to get tags and you're like, well, I'm going to do a kitchen organizing video. I want to use the tag, how to organize your kitchen. Well, it turns out that's probably a really bad tag. So I'm going to say, how to organize your kitchen on a budget. That might be a better tag. So the better you can get your tags, the more people will find your videos. So I find that TubeBuddy is very, very worth it. And the people from TubeBuddy actually are really amazing and very helpful. And I've met a bunch of them at VidSummit, which is a creator conference that happens once a year in LA. And it's worth every penny I pay for it. So you can use TubeBuddy for free, but it's better to use some of the paid versions. You can use somebody's affiliate code. I don't have an affiliate code, but I know Roberto Blake and Nick Nimmin probably has one, and like Creator Fundamentals. Somebody has an affiliate code that you can use. Use it. Use TubeBuddy. It's worth it. I also use plugins from a service called Pixel Film Studios. If I'm feeling more creative, I will get a fancy plugin or something to use on Final Cut Pro. You don't have to do that stuff, but that's just, I like to go on all out because I get bored and I like to be more creative sometimes. So that's something to do if you want to make your videos look a little bit more fancy, but it's not really necessary, especially on Final Cut Pro. You can probably do a lot more stuff than I'm doing right now. So I got a lot of questions about the business of YouTube, and I have to start out by saying that YouTube, along with being a really fantastic creative outlet for me, this is actually why I started it, because I was just bored and I needed a way to like get it out, is also now a business. I wanted to make sure that I set up my YouTube channel in a sustainable way so that it continued to make passive income in the background so that I could have more time to, see clients, make creative content, and also, make products in the background, which I'm still working on. I'm working on a couple of documents and programs for you guys, and memberships. So please stay tuned for that in 2020, definitely coming in 2020. YouTube is, along with being a creative outlet, is a business. There are a few different ways that YouTubers make money. The first is AdSense, and you guys are probably the most familiar with that. AdSense is Google's revenue sharing program. It's on YouTube, they call it the YouTube Partner Program, and they give you a percentage of, whoa, the sun is coming, and turn up the ISO and like close the curtain. It was extreme. Anyway, the YouTube Partner Program is a program that allows you to share YouTube revenue from the advertisements that play before and during and after your video. At the time of my creating this video, in order to qualify for the partner program, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 240 minutes of watch time during a calendar year. I guess that also translates to 4,000 hours of watch time within a calendar year. So if you make one of those qualifications but not the other, you're still not eligible for the monetization program. So you need to have both 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time within a calendar year, and then you can apply. Luckily, when they made that change, that was a couple of years ago, I was already monetized by that time. I think you only had to have 10,000 channel views. So AdSense is the first way I make money, and probably the most popular way for YouTubers to make money. I do, however, think this is the most unreliable source of income, because one month I may make, this much money, and the next month I may make this much money. So it's really unreliable. It depends on how many views I get, how much YouTube thinks my video is worth, like how much advertisers think my audience is worth, and how, just how well I did that month. Like some months I do really well, and some months I don't do so well. I do pretty well, and I do receive a YouTube AdSense payment every month right now, but it's not enough to live on, like, for sure. Like, I'm not retiring with this money. I just mostly put that money back into my channel and buy equipment and plugins and things like that. How much money you make depends on how many views you get and the quality of those views, I think. The quality of those views is really important, because you can be, an entertainment channel or whatever, or prank channel, and get 1.5 million views and make $500, or you can be a channel that talks about finance and get 5,000 views and make $2,000. How much money you're going to earn from AdSense really depends a lot about what your channel is about. So that's why I feed as much information to YouTube about what my channel is about and what the video is about, so that it is able to put correct advertisements on that video. I try not to put too many advertisements in the video. Like when I was first able to put in mid-rolls, which means the advertisement in the middle of the video, I felt kind of icky about it. I didn't want to interrupt the viewing experience by putting an ad in the video, but it's pretty standard on YouTube now to do that, so I didn't feel too bad about doing it. I have seen videos that have like 5, 6, and 7 ads in them, which I think is really excessive. I try not to do that. I'll put one at the beginning, one at the end for sure, but maybe they'll stick one in the middle just for funsies. I have YouTube Premium, so I don't see ads on YouTube. I try not to put too many, because I know that not everyone has YouTube Premium. YouTube Premium, by the way, is worth it, and I still get revenue from YouTube Premium subscriptions, so don't feel like you're screwing creators. If you get YouTube Premium, you're actually helping. So and you don't have to see commercials. So I think it's worth it. Not sponsored. The second way I make money is through affiliate marketing. I have an Amazon storefront that does the most of the affiliate marketing work, but I do have affiliate links for other products as well if they're not on Amazon. If they're not on Amazon, I'll usually go through Magic Links, which is another way for me to like sort of back end affiliate market. Like I do that a lot with Container Store products and Target products because I don't have a direct affiliate relationship with either Target or Container Store at this time. But that's another way to make money. And I have an affiliate code with a couple other brands as well. But I always make sure that I disclose that in the description. The other way I make money, and this is the main way I make money, is products and services. As you guys know, I am a professional organizer, so that is part of my service to you. So a couple of you have found me from YouTube, and a few of you have found me through YouTube and have purchased my virtual organizing service, so thank you very much. So that is another way for me to make income and keep you guys entertained at the same time. The last way I make money is sponsorships and sponsored videos. Those are a whole story in itself. So don't let the common thought of you can't have a sponsorship if you don't have like a huge amount of subscribers. I think you need to have, I think brands are looking for the right audience, not the amount of subscribers. They're looking for the appropriate audience, no matter how big or small it is, whether it be a few thousand or a million. They're looking for a correct group of people to show their product or service to. So I have been approached by brands mostly through email, and I have approached brands through email or through a service that I belong to. Like I belong to a couple of influencer, I guess, networks that help connect brands with influencers. And I have gotten some sponsorships that way, which is really handy. So I do recommend, if you are a YouTuber or an online influencer at all, that you make a website for yourself and that you create a media kit for yourself. The media kit and having the website just makes you look a little bit more legitimate and professional. And so my first sponsorship opportunity was actually with Marriott, which is really amazing. They flew me to Nashville to work with their fantastic line of hotels called Marriott Town Place Suites. And I made 2 videos for them, and they put me up, fed me, took me to tours, and I had a ball, and that was my really amazing first sponsorship. So I only work with brands who I really love. My parents are Marriott people. I'm a Marriott person, so I was so thrilled that they wanted to work with me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you sure? And I only want to work with brands which are appropriate for you. So I got a lot of questions about what brands I turned down, and I turned down about 99% of the stuff that I get in my inbox, and I get a lot of stuff in my inbox that's like not appropriate for you guys. So that means like jewelry, skincare products, cosmetics, weird stuff, just weird stuff that I'm like, I only want to accept a brand deal or a free product from a company that I believe is good, first of all, and that I believe the product is cool, or that I just think is worth it to show you guys. I have sort of a criteria that I go through. They have to have their own website. They have to be they have to have their own e-commerce website, and they have to be a brand that I love and respect. So it seems pretty simple, but a lot of people will take a bunch of free products. I don't do as much of that anymore. I guess that's referred to as a gifting campaign. And I think if you're starting out as a YouTuber and you are getting a lot of these offers for gifting campaigns, it can be a way to get your name out there and get some practice for doing paid sponsorships where they send you the product as well as they pay you to talk about the product or service. But I find nowadays it's more trouble than it's worth unless the product is like really, really cool. Like the Nix Play frame and the Skylight frames I thought were super cool. I was not paid a separate fee to talk about those products, but I did receive them for free, which I think is still a sponsorship. But that's how I feel now in 2019. I think at the time I was like, oh, it's not sponsored, but I think it is sponsored if you get a gifted product from a brand. But either way, I've always been very forthcoming about whether the product was sent to me or whether I have purchased the product myself. And there definitely are brands that I still want to work with. I think you guys probably know who they are. I was really, really excited to work with OXO this year, so that's one checked off. Brand deals are really cool. There is a little bit of negotiation between you and the brand when you first start talking, and it can be really intimidating if you're not like a business person. I don't consider myself, I mean, I'm a business person, but that was kind of weird for me, being like, well, how much is my time worth? How much is this video worth? Like, I don't know. And I had to sort of do some math and like, how much is my time worth? And it turns out it's probably, if you're thinking that you're charging too much, you probably are not charging enough, because a lot of this time spent editing, scripting, trying the product, doing the product demonstration, that's a lot of time. Make sure that if you are getting a sponsorship offer, that you don't accept like anything less than you think you're worth. I received an offer in my inbox like a few months ago that was like, it said, we'll send you the product and we'll also pay you $10 to make 10 videos. So a total of $100. And I was like, nah. 10 videos. You guys would be so sick of hearing about it by like the third time I talked about it. Just be mindful of like how much your time is worth, how much your showing it to your audience is worth. Don't undervalue your time and your talent and your all that stuff. So it's like crazy. I always read my contracts really thoroughly when I get contracts from brands, and now I make sure that there's a special clause in it that says they're only allowed to ask for one edit when I send my video to be approved, and that's usually how it works. I'll film the video and I'll edit it and upload it to YouTube unlisted, and they can watch it and say video's good to go, or they can say, you know what, we didn't like when you said that, can you take it out, or can you like can you show the product more here, and I'll make an edit. So I've made a clause in my contract that they can only do that one time, because I did go back and forth with a brand one time when I was editing and trying to upload it, and it was just a pain in the butt. So they're not allowed to come back and say, oh, can you also, after I've already made all the changes. So that's a huge tip that I want to offer to you. If you ever get a sponsorship contract, and make sure that there's a clause in there, they have one chance to ask for edits, one chance only. I'd love to be like an entertainment channel or something like that, but that's not a sustainable business model. So I have to sort of break down all of these revenue streams. And as a YouTuber, you really should diversify your income. You shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket. That's very dangerous. And I also make evergreen content, like the how to organize your closet videos are not going to age out. I think people are still going to find those videos, 2 years, 10 years down the road, and they're still going to bring in income, which I guess these Vlogmas videos probably won't, but I just want to make sure that I produce enough evergreen content to bring in passive income so that I'm not struggling if I happen to take a break from YouTube, which I don't like to do, but occasionally I do have to do. So I've set up my channel so that I have a regular revenue stream coming in even when I'm not uploading, which I don't want to do, but just in case it happens. I had a question about Kapa. Kapa is the, if you don't know, they're enforcing Kapa in a very more strict way in January of 2020. Kapa is actually an old set of laws, regulations set up, I think in 2008. It's called it's like the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, and it was meant to protect children's identity privacy, I think. Identity privacy? Is that redundant? I think it is. It was meant to protect children from like people and companies gathering their personal information. Like you can't ask Johnny to put his address in and like his phone number and credit card number. You can't do that. And I think that it's going to affect mostly channels who are market directly to children under 12. And that's not something that I do. So I'm not personally super concerned about Kapa. There is a setting you can set on your entire channel that says, I don't upload content for kids, and I don't upload content for kids. Most of my audience is over the age of 25. But if you market towards kids, you're going to lose your comments section. You're going to lose your ability to have end cards, end screens. I think like directed, targeted marketing, like advertisements. So that's going to be a big hit for kids channels. But I, as an organizing channel, home organizing channel, and like home enthusiast channel, I'm not super worried about Kapa. I'm not freaking out quite yet. I'm cool. We're cool. So I just want to end and say that YouTube is a tool, and it's not my I don't think it is my job, even though I am a full-time content creator and full-time creative entrepreneur. It is more of a tool, even though it's a really creative and amazing tool. I do put a lot of time and creative energy into creating YouTube content. It's not my, end all and be all, but I do love it. And each one of you, each one of the 38,000, I think at this point, it's not quite 38,000, but it's getting close, is not just a number to me. You're a person, and it's really special to me. And I want to make sure that I, give you value every time I upload. And I have made good friends with some of you. Like, some of you I text every day and like talk with every day. And it's been really fulfilling for me. And I just appreciate each one of you. And I know that you guys love Clover, and I love Clover too, you guys, spoiler alert. I don't think it's too late to start a YouTube channel if you're willing to do that, if you want to do that. My only advice, if you're starting a YouTube channel, is to take some time before you start and learn how the platform works and functions. That will save you so much time down the road in trying to figure out like how to make your tags and keywords and thumbnails and how to edit. Like, take the time to really like do the work on the back end, because doing that stuff, learning that stuff on the fly is totally possible. That's how I did it. But I would have saved so much time if I had like learned about like how to tag my video properly before I even started. There are lots of good resources about how to grow on YouTube and how to make YouTube videos. Roberto Blake is the first name that comes to mind. He's actually a great guy. I worked with him one-on-one. We've met a couple of times, and he's amazing and funny and very kind and just a really cool person. He is also a businessman, and he tells it to you straight. He's not gonna like sugarcoat any of this nonsense. So I really, really like Roberto, and Nick Nimmin and Dean Nimmin. I love them a lot too. They're really, really sweet guys. They do give you some of the best information about how to grow on YouTube and how to do YouTube. Also, Brian G. Johnson is another great person to watch. Sunny Leonarduzzi is really fantastic as well as Amy Landino. She used to be Amy Schmittauer, which I almost said, but Amy Landino is really amazing as well if you need like a lady. Sometimes we need a lady, I will link all their channels and information down below if you're interested in checking those guys out. But at the end of the day, YouTube's a fabulous tool. I've gotten some really great opportunities just because someone found me on YouTube. So it's not just a platform to make money on. Okay, the sun's killing me. I gotta end this video. If you guys have any more questions, write them down in the comment section and I will try my best to answer them. And until then, I'll see you later.
So long, and I'll see you next time you listen to a tape. And when you listen to a tape next time, think of how thank you were you get these tapes. They're really fun to listen to. In fact, this is the cure for the summertime blues. So make sure you listen to these tapes anytime you're bored. These tapes will make your heart sing and laugh. So buy these tapes, listen to them, and have fun with them. Goodbye, and have a nice day.